Hey, what's going on, guys? We got a special guest here today. We have Calvin Correli. He's the founder and CEO of Simplero, the multi-seven-figure software helping creators and entrepreneurs build real businesses with souls and intention. He's one of the most thoughtful founders I've ever met, someone who blends entrepreneurship, identity work, and spirituality in a way that actually changes people. Today, we're going to dive into his journey, his philosophy on mind bugs, and why real growth happens when we finally believe we're enough. Calvin, thank you for coming on hashtag clocked in. So for the
Thank
first
you.
question, you've built a multi seven-figure company and you're living a life of freedom, like real freedom. But what was the moment you realized the biggest breakthroughs weren't coming from strategies, but from changing who we believed we were? How did that happen to you?
It happened early and late is the truthful answer. I started as an entrepreneur as a very young guy. Both my parents were entrepreneurs, so I was in that world very early on, but I kept running into like upper limits, like blocks. And so I realized I got into my personal development journey in early 2000s, like 2003, 4, 5-ish. And that led me to like I started the traditional way of like personal development. I was super scared of any of that stuff, right? So it's like give you some strategies. I learned a little bit about like limiting beliefs and that kind of stuff. And it's like that's exciting. And then that journey, when you start on personal development, it just kind of leads to spirituality eventually because there's no
Yeah.
answers. Like there are no real answers in just like personal development. So I worked with a spiritual teacher and it just completely blew my mind open. But then like actually getting it, actually integrating it, like that was a long journey. And it wasn't until I would say like last year, maybe a year and a half ago, that it really started clicking. And it's such a slippery thing because our ego wants to co-opt everything and just be like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, yeah, I got it. And but just like continue to use it for its own purposes. So
What's an example of that? What's an example of that?
it's like when I talk about like identity and like who are you really, then it's like yeah I got that, yeah I got that, yeah I get it, like it's like all
The
right.
classic, I know, and
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
turns off your listening. So for anyone listening right now, if you ever tell anyone I know or I get it, or I already know that one, you're
Right.
literally turning off everything that's being said.
Yeah. Or like, I've already done therapy. I've done like 20 years of therapy. Like I got this. It's like, yeah, but there's something there's a piece here that you didn't get to, right? It's like, and that's the invitation. We can do it now or we can not. It's fine. I had my mom had a sister who was um they went to see my mom and her sister would go to see this like clairvoyants, psychics, mediums, whatever, every once in a while, different people. They'd go together, but they would go in separately to talk to these people. And every time after one of these meetings, my mom would ask her sisters, like, so what did he say? Like, what did you say? What was the thing? And she would say, oh, they all say the same thing. I don't want to do that. And we don't know what it was. She never told anyone what the thing was. But I think it's so symptomatic of like how we work as humans that we will go to therapy for 20 years or we
Yeah,
will like do the work or work on the limiting beliefs or whatever, but we won't go there. There's
yeah,
some pain, there's something that our psyche is just so scared of going to visit that place because it's like the thing that was like that we disowned very early, or maybe it's something that we brought into this life or whatever it is. But there's some place where it's just like, nah, I'm not going there. And then we will work forever, like from like around that, trying to fix all these other things forever and ever. And the whole time you're just, as you're doing that, like a classic thing is like, well, I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. I'm doing all this work on myself for like 10 years, 20 years, whatever. And everything you're doing to work on yourself is reinforcing a core belief that you're broken. that there's something wrong with you,
Yes. That's
that there's something to
interesting.
fix. And that
Yeah.
happens because you're identified with that self, the ego self, the small self that thinks you're separate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fascinating. I've never really thought about it that way because you're absolutely right. When we sit there and we put ourselves in these ideas of we're always getting better, we're always improving, that implies that the version of ourselves isn't good enough in this moment.
exactly.
That's why I think a lot of us struggle with we're not enough.
Exactly.
We're,
Yeah.
it's a constant challenge.
Yeah. That's the lie, right? And it's you can't not be enough.
Yeah.
Like what does that mean? Enough for whom? For what? Like it doesn't make any freaking sense.
Yeah.
But that's
I,
the thing where what I look at is not limiting beliefs because it's usually not like it's not like you're going around thinking, "Oh, I'm not enough," or "I'm broken." Like those are not the thoughts. They're not limiting beliefs in that sense. They're deeper than that. They're
yeah.
the identity. They're how you see yourself. You see yourself as someone who's broken, and then your mind is going to find evidence of that in your circumstance.
Yes.
And it becomes so fucking convincing because it's so good at finding that evidence, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. We don't realize it, but there's this thing called the RAS, the reticulator activating system, where if you
Mhm.
start to see things, and you guys, the audience has probably seen this, where they might have purchased a car, and now everyone has that car, or you moved to a new area, and now everyone is living in that area, and you start to see the patterns over and over again. But there's a lot of subconscious patterns that Calvin's kind of hinting at that you experience over and over again until you face that, until
Mhm.
you're ready to go. I'm just not going to accept that anymore. That's not who I want to be.
Mhm.
So for
Right.
you, when did you enter into entrepreneurship and how did that feel with purpose? How did you kind of go about that? Because there's two sides of it. There's always the personal development side of I'm good enough, like we can go after this. And then there's like, hey, we actually got to make a business that works.
Mhm. Yeah. I got into, entrepreneurship when I was 12 years old or something. I was just making software, selling it to some people that I knew mainly through my parents. So I was kind of oriented that way. And I was always, I only really held, I worked a bit for my mom's company. I worked a bit for my dad's company growing up. And then I worked for one business for about 2 years in the US 25 years ago. And that's other than that, it's always been working for myself. So I don't have a lot of experience working for anyone else. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Um, but it was really for me it was easy to build a business that worked well, but then I would run up against these like upper limits. And it's like there's been so many different things where I've been excavating like what those are. One of the big ones was when I realized I had this whole coding that said who we are in my family are people whose lives are good but not great. So if my life is like if my business is thriving, my relationship, my marriage is awesome, my body and my health is amazing and everything's just floating, then I would be disloyal to my family because that's not who we are and that's not how we
Wow.
relate.
That's profound.
And yeah, it was like I was visualizing, all right, like dream business, dream body, dream relationships, and then I noticed I just felt really sad. It
Yeah.
felt really like there was so much pain. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? But yeah, that was what it was.
And how'd you start to adjust that? Because there's definitely people in the audience that are sitting there going, I want to become this next version of myself. I want to see myself in this, but no one in my
Mhm.
family's ever done this. No one's really
Yeah.
taken that leap. No one's been the one.
hmm the beautiful thing about this work is you just need to see it, right? You don't
Yeah.
need to spend 20 years in therapy, right? It literally is just seeing the pattern, but it's seeing it specifically. And this is where like I'm a software engineer. And so I have this engineering mindset. When you fix a bug in the software,
Yeah.
you don't just like fix something. You need to take the time to really figure out what is the root of this issue here. So we fix the right thing and not just a random thing. Right.
Yeah.
And so you don't, so you actually fix what is the core thing. And like, I'll literally give you an example from today. So we were like in Simplero in my software, there's like a button that you would click and then it goes gray and disabled so you can see that something's happening, but then it comes back before it then sends you on to the next page, which is really weird. And then I was like, well, let's fix that, but let's do it generally so that all right, when the next thing is a redirect, it just stays that state. And then I looked in and I'm like, oh, someone already did that. Okay, is that broken? No, actually, someone wrote some other code to duplicate something we already had, and that wasn't. So it's like taking the time, I could fix that. I could just make a hack right there, but I can go deeper and find like what's the
The
ultimate,
root
simplest,
cause.
cleanest fix here. And so the cleanest fix is like, why do we have two pieces of code for roughly the same thing that are just different? Like, fix that, right? That's the real fix here. Maybe that's too much work for what we want to do right now, so we put that aside as technical debt. But then we make the general fix. So now we just have the same thing in two places. Like either one is okay, but we got to get to that level. And I find that even software engineers actually generally are not very good at that. Like it's a
Yeah.
special skill of doing that. But then it's compounded when it's you, right? Because there, as the saying goes, you can't read the label from inside the bottle.
Yeah.
Because again, these are not thoughts in your head. It's just how you are. It's your identity.
Yeah.
It's how you see yourself and your place in the world. So you're not going to see it. Like it's
A
taken me
hundred.
years to train myself to see it for myself. And so now I've gotten pretty good at it, but there's still, I guarantee you, there's still tons of things that I'm not seeing in myself.
100%. And like when you started to describe that to me, it made me think of the person whose car is broken down and there's tape around the bumper and they're just trying to survive.
Exactly.
And they might have the money to fix it, but in their head, they're just like, this is my life. Like, this is what it is. Like, I don't have that standard to where I want to be.
hmm Yeah. And most people just live like that. Like it's just
Yeah.
they live disorganized, their businesses are disorganized. The whole thing is disorganized. And that's just not how I roll. But so to answer your question about like how do you fix it? You see it. The moment you really see it clearly, and the next step that I take people through is see where it came from. So,
Okay.
like, for example, like one of my coaching clients, she has this thing where she built this incredible business with thousands of members that were learning from her about how to paint, but she lived in terror of
Yeah.
them leaving. Because what if she said something wrong or did something wrong, and now they were upset with her and they would reject her and leave?
She's
And
never going to be authentic. Yeah.
exactly. Well, and it's like she has a successful business making millions, but she's exhausted, right? Imagine what that does to you physically. Like I know
Yeah.
that,
It's very
physical
conflicting.
health is one of your pillars, and you can eat healthy all you want, but if you're constantly living in a state of terror
Yeah.
that people are going to leave and reject you, and that might threaten you financially, but even more just emotionally, the rejection from people, that's a really painful place to live, and that's going to make you sick physically, literally.
Yeah. 100%.
And so once we saw that, I'm like, where did that come from? Because like once you see not just the pattern, but you actually see where it came from. And in her case, when she was a teenager, she was part of a group of other girls. There was maybe like 10, 15 of them. And then one day, from one day to the next, they just started like leave. They stopped wanting to be with her. And nobody ever said why. Nobody ever explained anything. It was just like all just like, nah, we don't want to hang out with you. And it was so painful for her. So painful. And the meaning that she made it up in her head was that she did something wrong.
Yes.
I said something wrong. I did something wrong. I don't know what it is, but I have to find out what it is. And so she goes into her head over speculating on like what might it have been. And then from that moment on, for 30 plus years, she's lived her life in that state of, oh my God, if I say or do something wrong, they're going to leave me.
Yes.
Whoa. And
That's
you,
terrible. It's amazing that she even built the business that big. Like to
right.
not revalidate herself and rearrange those beliefs is incredible.
And the way it works is that you will, like, life is going to present you with circumstances. You will create the circumstances in your life where you get to face this again somehow. Because
Yes.
the whole point is not the business. The whole point is to face this lie, the mind bug, and
Yeah.
realize, oh, it's crap. So we look at that situation. We feel that girl in that moment, she didn't allow herself to feel the pain of that. So we
Yeah.
just take a moment to just be with that, let her feel, hold her, embrace her, like energetically, just be like, hey, I
Absolutely.
get how freaking painful that was. Oh my God. Terrifying. You feel hurt, you feel rejected. And then we look at the meaning. Oh, they rejected me. Is that true? What if you were spared?
Yeah.
Like these if people can do that with you, they're not friends.
Yeah.
They're not people that you want to be friends with. So you
Yeah.
weren't rejected. You were spared. This
Yeah.
they did you a favor by showing you who they were. And you didn't do anything wrong. You just did what you did and they did what they did and none of it is bad or wrong.
Yeah.
And so once you start, then you unravel that. And then as soon as you do that work, you don't have to do that again ever again. Like that's why I don't get people who are in therapy for 20 years. It's just because you never get to the root. You never
Yeah.
get to the real issue here. Because once you get that, it's like, oh crap, yeah, I see it. And it will never have that power over you. And then neuroplasticity kicks in where like yes, it will still come up in situations, but your mind won't go there the same way. It won't have the same pull over you because you won't believe it to be true. And now you can spot it pretty quick. And then you can just be like, oh, yeah, I know this place. It's a lie. And then you go back. And then pretty soon that whole neural pathway starts to just be overgrown and like your brain just doesn't go there anymore. And that's freedom.
I love that. I love that because we're in our minds. We have all these mind bugs in our minds, and we don't do the work to go through them to uncover all of this. Then we don't have the awareness. So,
Mhm.
is there anything the audience could do in this mode? Like, is there any questions they can ask themselves, or to find
Yeah.
out what some of these are, or bring awareness to them?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, so my first question with a new client is always like, what is your challenge? What are you struggling with? And then I just listen to what they're saying. And the filter that I'm listening through is what do you have to believe about yourself in order to experience this, in order to see it that way?
Yeah.
Right? And there's like a core 10-ish mind bugs that are kind of the big categories. Things like um, I'm I'm not enough or I'm not good or I'm bad. Things like I don't belong, I'm not wanted, I'm not safe, I'm not going to be okay, there's not enough. It's like things of that nature. And so I look for those buckets, but then I look for like what are the specific words that they use and like what is their specific kind of version of that, right? But like a big one for a lot of people is like we talked about in the beginning, like I'm not enough.
Yeah.
I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, or I'm not going to be okay. I'm
And
not
it and
safe.
it happens to everyone, and it doesn't even have to be a big like I'm not enough in regard to all this stuff. But I mean, once you start diving into the work, you can start to see times in your past where there are very micro moments that occurred. And it might
Hmm.
have been someone like your parents were just like playing on their phone and they didn't even give you attention, or like
Exactly.
it, it's so micro. It's not like everyone's like, oh, I got abused or I had this horrible thing happen. Like that's much more terrible and that becomes much more obvious, but there's still very micro ones that occur to people. Like her friends left her and what does she know? Her friends might have all moved away and she didn't know about it. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
Like a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff, we don't even know what happens. We're not
Yeah.
even sure how this occurred.
Or
So that
maybe she said something that like brought them in touch with some pain that they just weren't ready to deal with, and so it was easier for them to just like not hang out with her, like or like I don't know, she was too happy and they just like to be sad. Like who knows, right? It could be all
yeah.
kinds of things. Doesn't matter. None of that
Yeah.
matters. Yeah.
It just matters about how you feel about it and how you're showing up for it.
Yeah. And I believe that we actually come into this. I believe that this is the only thing that matters. Like
Really? Okay.
seeing and clearing your mind bugs is the only thing that matters, period. And I think that the way life works is that in between lifetimes, I believe that we were infinite souls that have multiple lifetimes. I also believe that time is only an illusion of the mind. It's not how reality actually works. Everything's just
Interesting.
one soup that's all at the same time. But we have multiple experiences on this planet
Yeah.
and or on different planets. Who the fuck knows? and different multiverses, whatever. But in between these lives, and again, like time is just an illusion, but like let's play with it. In between these lives, we plan out. Oh, all right. In this life, I want to come up against the barrier that I feel like I'm unworthy. Let me deal with that one. Let me look at that one. I also want to add some of the like I'm not safe, or I'm not going to be okay, and like I
Yeah.
want it all linked to money, and and then I want to have this like experience. Like you literally plan it out. Like there's a great book called The Holographic Universe where he like through he talks about how hypnotists have taken people back to that in between life stage. Most people talk about like
Really?
going back to past lives, but you can take people to that in between life stage and they're like, yes, I planned to be raped in my 30s because I wanted to have this experience so that I could blah, 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 whatever. Like that's one of the examples in the book. So
Wow.
I believe that that's what, like, we come into this world for that reason and to create the conditions that would install those mind bugs in us
Yeah.
so that we can then face the consequences of that in our circumstance so that we can then clear those mind bugs and remember who we are. And really, my whole project is the upgrade of humanity from
Yeah.
that like limited 1.0 version where we think we're a separate being in a separate body and that we're here to survive and amass success and fortune and family, like all the things, to recognizing that we're just pure spirit, pure awareness, pure consciousness, and we are everything that we seek. Right? We want a successful business so that we like feel like safe or feel like we're worthy or good enough or lovable or we feel free or we feel powerful. Whatever we think that the business or the money is going to give us, those are all who we are.
Yeah.
You're not free, you're freedom. You're not abundant,
Yeah.
you're abundance. You're not lovable, you are love. You're not powerful, you are power. Like all of
Yeah.
those are things that we already are inherently in our 2.0 nature. We just forget. And
That's
that's the whole
fascinating.
game. That's the whole
That's
game.
fascinating.
And
So,
once you do that, then you can actually build a business from a place of overflow, of full,
yeah.
like already being full and just being the joy of creating, just like, my son loved building towers and Lego or whatever, just because it's fun, not because like, oh my God, once I build this tower, then I'm gonna be someone. Like that's not how that works. It's just like I love
Yeah.
building shit. Like I love singing in the shower or whatever.
No, I try, and I talk to a lot of my clients about that, where they're like, "I want the destination, I want the destination, I want the destination." I'm like, "You got to fall in love with the journey if you want to get to the destination. Like, you got to
Yeah.
start to enjoy the work because the biggest challenge for a lot of us is that we see ourselves one-sided. Like, even for you, like most people would look at you and go, "Oh, entrepreneur of a business, not all this spiritual, not all this ideas." People don't see both sides. So for you, how was it developing both sides of you? Because this isn't most of us that just identify, I'm a software engineer. You know what I mean? I'm a
Right.
podcast. It's hard for us to identify 10 different things. So for you,
Yeah.
how do you jump between kind of identities and kind of see yourself differently?
I just I don't get attached to any of it. I just do what I do. I don't tell
Yeah.
myself a story about it. Like I just I in my like I will go straight from a coaching call where people are crying because they're
Yeah.
finally feeling freedom and relief and all of that. And then I'll go straight into like a call with my engineers solving some like gnarly technical issue. Or on the same coaching call, we don't just talk mind bugs, we also talk strategy because most people make strategy really complicated or they only have like one model that works for everybody.
Yeah.
So I love the strategy piece. I love the strategy piece. It's just that unless you clear the mind bugs, the strategy piece is not going to help you.
Yeah.
It's not really going to do much for you. So we jump back and forth like someone's crying and then like the very next person is like, yeah, the open rates on my emails or like the show up rates on my webinar and like what do we do about that? And I love it. Like I have no
Yeah.
problem with that. Like it's not one
It's
thing.
all of it. It's all of who you are. It's not,
Yeah.
and too many of us put ourselves in that silo of I'm the strategy guy or I'm the spiritual guy, and it's
Right.
more to be authentic to who you are and
I
find the
don't
things that
think
actually help you.
I don't think life makes mistakes.
Yeah.
So whatever gifts you're given, you're here to use.
Yeah.
Right. And they might serve different purposes, or they might also all be in service of the same purpose. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they're all there for a reason. Use them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Simplero, when did you start it? What year?
Starting 2009. 2009.
2009, right?
Yeah.
Great Depression,
Yeah,
worst time to start a business. That's what they
totally.
say. How
Yeah.
did you kind of have that mindset going into building that business? Because I know a lot of people try to blame everything on the economy or we're in a recession, we're not, this, that. Like, how'd
I've
you?
never paid attention to that. Like, I don't care. I actually like the downturns better because
Yeah,
I saw this during the dot-com boom. 99, I quit university to go work for this company in Boston in the US. I was born and raised in Denmark, so I moved to America to work for this company. And at that time, there's so much money in tech, right?
yeah,
Everybody was pouring millions and millions of dollars of VC funds into like silly companies, and it made it much harder for a legitimate, sustainable business to compete.
of
And
course.
so once all that money kind of flushed out, the early, I remember like 2003-ish time period was the best period ever. Like all the VC money was out. It was back to craftsmanship and people who love building stuff for the web. And like some of the most amazing things came out of that. Ruby on Rails, which my friend David created like as a web framework that we use for Simplero. Basecamp, he used it to create, he built that to create Basecamp, if you've heard of that project management
Yeah,
platform. That happened during that time. It came on like in 2005. I jumped on it immediately, loved it. So I've always loved building during a downturn. There's, it's more quiet. You can focus more. And for me, it was like I got into coaching in 2007. I took the education to become a coach. I worked with my spiritual teacher. I saw how this was all instrumental to entrepreneurship. Like
yeah.
like it's not like
It's
something
not
you
one or
do on
the other.
Saturday. It's not something that's like a
It's
little bit like
intertwined.
it's at the core of it. Because like what is entrepreneurship? It's creating something that's never existed before. And
Yes.
ideally you want it to be something that's an expression of who you are and why you're here. Right. I
Yes.
saw so many tech entrepreneurs who were just like trying to do something that would make money. Oh, it's kind of like a Facebook meets like Uber mashup of like blah 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 whatever. Like Uber wasn't around at that time, but you get the idea, right? It's like no, like, and then like you put VC money into it, and then you're like, yeah, that could be like, but it's all mental. It's all up here, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
about here? I actually
Yeah.
bought the domain startfromtheheart.com because I'm like,
I
what's
love it.
here? What about the heart? Right? Like, it's like let's start something that you actually feel passionate about. What's his face? The Paul Graham, the Y Combinator guy. He wrote this essay called "No Startup Ever Died Mid Keystroke." He has a way with words. I love it. And it's like, as long as you keep going, the startup's not dead. You might have run out of funding. You might have like fired all your employees. Like you might have like pivoted a million times, but as long as you're still freaking typing on that damn keyboard, the
Yeah.
business is still alive. Like
Yeah.
keep going. And so if you're in it just because you think it's going to be a quick win and make you some money and get an exit, whatever, then when it gets hard, and it will, then you're apt to quit, right?
Yes.
So if it's something that you're like, this is why I'm here. This is my purpose in life. Like,
Yeah.
let's go. You're gonna stick with it. I'm
Yeah.
doing Simplero 16 years in. I still love it. As
Yeah.
much as I did in the beginning, I love it even more because I'm better.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Yeah. And we don't real like I love how you look at work as like a good thing. Not one of these like, hey, let's try to make as much money as possible and run to the next activity and the next thing and the next thing. And it's like, no, let's build something
No.
powerful that's actually impactful.
And then we love doing, right? Like
Yes.
success is now, success is not in the future. Like the whole, like every single person that I know that has done an exit, they all feel depressed. Like
I,
you always have a depression following an exit every single time.
well, it's interesting because the conventional like I would say the normal W-2 employee, like the normal employee is always like success is a monetary place. And they're always like, once I get to this that person's more successful. You hear all the wording, and it's like you don't even have a definition of success for yourself. Like
Yeah,
it's not about money; it's about how you feel
it's
and about how
so
you see
not.
the world.
It's
And
so not.
I
Yeah.
want the audience to realize that because we set these definitions of success, and it's like you have to reset, you have to recalibrate what success is to you. We're sold, all of us are sold. Hey, if you get the house, the car, and all this, that's success. That is not success.
No, and what happens is once you get there, I got this email. This was like 10 years ago, more that like I was blogging about some of these things. I got this email from this dude, Eric, in San Francisco. He was a co-founder of some like mobile social gaming startup for like back then. And he emailed at me out of the blue saying, "Hey, like I read your blog. I'm really intrigued here. I founded this company. We just got an offer to buy the company for $300 million dollars, and I feel depressed. I feel more depressed than I ever have in my life." And the reason why is that he had always chased that outcome, that money.
Yeah.
And now it was within reach. He hadn't signed the deal, but it was within reach. And he realized, oh shit, it's not solving anything.
Yeah.
It's not solving that void, that feeling that I have in my heart.
Yeah.
And now, where before I had a strategy, I thought I knew what I needed to do. Now I'm lost. Fuck.
Yeah.
The pain's still here. I thought this is going to fix it. It's not. Like, what do I do? Right. So that's a very painful place to be. It's also a beautiful place to be. It's a good place to be because now you can ask the real questions. But it's like the earlier you start to ask those questions and realize that's not the fucking answer, the better
Yeah.
it is. There was a clip that went viral on X over the weekend or this week with Nicole Shanahan from a podcast. Did you see that?
No. What was it?
So Nicole was married to Sergey Brin, right?
Okay.
Tech billionaire. So she's a tech billionaire wife. And then she became the vice presidential candidate, the running mate of RFK Jr.
Okay.
during his candidacy of presidency. And she tells about how these billionaire tech wives have been roped in by the Democrat machine to support their causes. But the way she explained it is that these tech wives are deeply miserable. They run multiple properties and like tons of staff, and they have chronic staff issues, always staff issues. Their marriage sucks. Their relationship is in shambles. It's not good. And so they have this like void of meaning. And so they take and they have all this guilt over having all this money that they didn't do shit for and they feel unworthy of. And so then they channel their billions of dollars into all of these social justice
Philanthropies. Yeah.
causes, like whatever, to make them feel them to make themselves feel good in the moment with no concern for whether that money is actually doing any good for the people it's supposed to help.
Yes.
Right? But it just speaks to like, no, money doesn't solve anything.
And the grass isn't always greener. It's not always better, and people don't realize that because if you're running a company of billions of dollars or trillions of dollars, you don't get to hang out with your partner every day. You don't
Yeah.
get 8 hours with them.
Well,
Like,
and exactly. And like if your business gets big enough, chances are you're gonna get a call from somebody somewhere. Like there's the famous Jack Ma situation in the CCP in the China, right? Where he was like this tech billionaire and all of a sudden he's like gone. Like nobody knows where he is. He's in jail somewhere. I think you have to be naive to not suspect that something similar is happening in the US. Not that you're put in jail, but that someone probably has something on you and now you got to play ball. All right.
yeah,
So it's like, maybe just stay below the radar a little bit. Like I was thinking about this too because one of my big contexts was or about mind bugs was around feeling powerless.
yeah,
And I had this coding that said, oh, when only I have enough money, then I will be powerful. And then I realized, oh, wait, look at two famous billionaires that some people love and some people hate, Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
yeah,
Donald Trump, billionaire, even was the fucking, he is, but he, like after his first term, he was a former president of the United States.
yeah,
Massive audience. They were planning to put him in jail. They tried to put him in jail. And before that, they made a change to the laws so that if you're convicted, they will yank your Secret Service protection in jail.
yeah,
They made that change leading up to it. So the plan was to put him in jail and then probably be able to assassinate him and call it suicide. That was the plan. So being a billionaire doesn't save you. Being the most power, like being the president of the United States, doesn't save you. Elon Musk, if Trump hadn't won, he would probably be in jail now. he would probably be stripped of all his companies or bankrupted or something because they were going after him for a variety of reasons. One of which is he bought X and like free speech and he supported Trump. So like, point is that power is who you are. It's not
Yeah.
something that you can ever find externally through money or any
Yes.
other means. And really recognizing that.
And recognizing that all of the emotions and all of the feelings are all internal first, then it becomes external and people start to do it. But if you don't give it to yourself, you're not going to find love. If you don't give
Exactly.
it to yourself, you're not going to find power. If you don't give it to
Exactly.
yourself, you're not going to have these things.
And it's even worse because usually those things, those feelings that we're ultimately after, that are our nature, power, love, safety, belonging, whatever, that are worthiness, they're inalienable. They're inherent in your nature, but we disown them.
Yeah.
It's like when we fall in love with someone, we're like, oh my God, you have this thing that I have too, but I just disowned it. And now
Yeah.
with you, I get to feel whole and complete because now I get to have that and feel that and experience. Like, no, I had that the whole time. I had just disowned it. I like set it aside.
That that is one of the biggest things ever in relationships. Like I've talked to coaching clients, I realize it for myself. Like whenever you meet a relationship, like you should be at a 9 or a 10, and that other person should be at a 9 or a 10, and then you guys together get to like a 20. But
Hmm.
people don't think about it that way. They're just like, hey, I'm at a 4. If someone could help me get to a 7, then I'll be happy. And if I don't have their love, then I'm gonna be sad. And it's like, no, you have to love yourself first. Then
Yep.
then you can start loving other people. And
Yep.
it happens all the time where it's like we obviously people have ups and downs, but it's you need to find that alignment in who you are and what you want to be around.
Yeah. Yeah. So the part that we disown, for example, for me, like as a like an infant, basically, like a baby, there's some part of me that like felt like I was in a power struggle with my dad. It's something that's kind of come to me after.
Yeah,
All of this is unconscious, right? But where I felt like, well, if I'm too powerful, then I'm not going to be safe. Like we all do this as kids. We come into this world intuitively. We know that we're completely dependent on the adults here, our parents
yeah,
or caretakers, or whatever, to keep us safe. So we make this bargain that says, I will be who I think you want me to be, so you keep me safe. We all do this
yeah,
unconsciously. And so one of those bargains for me was I can't be powerful because then you won't keep me safe. All right. And so now what I have is a coding that says, oh shit, you can't be powerful because then you're not safe. And yet I'm striving to
to
become
be,
powerful. And in my mind, I've linked it and said, well, if I have enough money, then I will feel powerful. But my unconscious mind is still scared as hell of feeling powerful. So what's it gonna do? It can only do one of two things. Either it sabotages me, so I never make that damn money, because then I would have to be powerful, and that would be really scary. We don't want that. So it's gonna
yeah,
make sure I never hit the goal. Or it's just gonna move the goalposts. So now, yeah,
yeah,
when I hit a million, I'll feel powerful. Well, when I hit 10 million, I'll feel powerful. Well, when I hit 50, 100 million, like one of those two things always happens, right?
yeah,
And oftentimes it's a sabotage. So you're working, you say you want to make money, but subconsciously you're very committed to something else because you link the power to money, right?
wow,
So we can unlink that and realize that power is inherent and that, yeah, it's actually okay to be powerful. Now you can just feel fucking powerful. And now you take the brakes off and you get to
yeah,
actually build the wealth that you want. Like I'm all for building the wealth and the money and the six, like all of that. I want everybody to have that. And you absolutely can have all that. It's just let's let go of the brakes first. And then,
yeah, and not hate ourselves until that exact moment.
right.
Because the amount of
Yeah.
people that I know that just hate their lives until the exact moment, and then they get to the moment and they're like, "This is not it. Like this
Yeah, I
isn't what I
still hate
want.
my life.
I
Right.
thought I was gonna get better. Why
Yeah.
did you get better?"
No, exactly.
Because
Yeah.
they wanted the external to try to solve that, which it doesn't solve. So
Yeah.
at Edwards Consulting, we have 5 pillars, and it's mental health, physical health, community service, philanthropy, spirituality, and relationships. So I'm going to ask you, Calvin, just
Mm.
however you want to answer, but on a 1 to 10 mental health, how are you feeling today? Like in this
I mean,
moment?
10. 10 out
10?
of 10.
How are you at 10? How are you at 10? Because the audience is sitting there going, oh, Calvin's got it figured out. He's got the entrepreneur. Like, what are you doing to be at that 10?
What I'm doing is I'm realizing that everything, like the only thing that matters is the mind bugs. Right. So whenever, if there's ever anything, so we recently moved into this house like 2 weeks ago, and it's incredible. Like you can't really say this is the studio, the office out in the garden, but I got like the Pacific Ocean right out there. Sun is shining. It's beautiful. Like it's December 4th, and I'm like way too hot here. Got the pool. We got like the like more rooms that we really need. It's the most beautiful kitchen. Like it's amazing. It's beyond anything that anyone in my family has ever lived in. Like period. And it's triggered me so much to move into this house. Like all like I mentioned like the whole like disloyal to the family if you're too successful and stuff. Work through that, but like it's common that when you then expand, some of this old stuff comes up again, right?
Yeah,
So it just comes up. But then I don't worry about it. So I'm
yeah,
like, it'll come up, and usually for me, it comes up in the middle of the night. So I'll wake up at like 3 or 4 a.m. and I have to go pee, and then it just starts like, oh my God, and like and then I start to get worried about like, what if I can't pay the rent and the money and like blah blah blah. And it's not rational. It's just all the irrational stuff. What makes me a 10 out of 10 is that I'm not scared about it. I don't shy away from it. And I actually realized for me, money has always been like the biggest of the mind bugs, the mind buggers. For me, for
yeah,
some reason, like years ago, I got this feeling like my worth is so low, like it's like negative so much. Like I have to be a multi-billionaire, like a Steve Jobs or Bill Gates level success by 30, or I shouldn't even exist. I shouldn't take up space that belongs to other people. I shouldn't breathe the air that belongs to other people. That was I don't know, that was the mind
yeah,
bug that was running the show. And I tried for so many years to overcome it by like, yeah, I am worthy and feel, and when it was only when I really got to the root of it and realized how absurd it is and really, but also really felt that boy that felt that way, that felt
yeah,
so unworthy that it let go. So for me, it's like money is the last frontier, if you will. And
yeah,
so when I have these like middle of the night where I wake up, I'm just like, okay, let me just be present with what is. What is the lie here? Or what's coming up emotionally? Which version of me is needing to be held and felt and been with? And then I'm just I'm here for it. Maybe it takes 10 days, maybe it takes a month, maybe it takes 10 months. I don't care. I just know that as long as I stay present with the process and I'm not resisting anything and I'm constantly noticing what is it that I'm thinking and believing that makes me feel this way, I'll move through it and then it'll be done.
yeah,
When I look at
yeah.
other areas of my life, I used to be super insecure socially, like feel so wrong and like the unwanted and not belonging, not fit in, and like feel like I was fat and like all of these things that I've just like
It's just not true. Yeah,
burned through. And I don't like now it's just silly. So I know this is the same. I'll just burn through it and then like I'll be free.
I love
So that's
that.
why it's a 10 out of 10. I'm
I mean,
like,
I think it's incredible because it lets people know that even if they're having issues or challenges, that there's freedom on the other side of that as they become
yeah.
free.
And as long as you don't make it a problem that whatever comes up comes up. No, it's the
Yeah,
opposite. It's a gift that it comes up because it was there the whole time. The other
yeah,
night I had something come up. There was like the phrase that came to me was like, I'm nobody. And if I could just be anybody other than who I am, then I would be somebody.
oh my God.
Like that's like I remember like 20 years ago or something, maybe with my first wife, we were visiting Amsterdam and we were in this like shoe store. It's so crazy, like these memories. We were in this shoe store and it was tiny, but it was really beautiful. It was really cool. It had like these colored lights,
Yeah.
like round shape to it, and had shoes. And I was like, it just like it came over me. I just want to be whoever owns this fucking shoe store. If I could just be him, then I would be good enough. Like it's so crazy, but like that pattern was in there the whole
Yeah,
time. It's just that it didn't surface until like this moment in that way. I had
yeah,
another one like 6 months ago or something that came up was like, and it was like it's like when you get to the specific one, you can just feel it and you feel the energy shift. And that one was like, I'm a worthless piece of shit. Like that was the energy of the thing that was in there, the bugger that was in there. And when you realize that all of this is good, it's good
yeah,
that it comes up because it's in there. And if you can just be with it and be present with it listen to it, notice what are the thoughts, what are the thoughts beneath the thoughts, what is the feeling underneath the feeling, and just be with it. Boom, that's it. And this is the purpose of life. The
Yeah.
purpose of life is not to be make a bunch of money so you can put it on the luggage rack of the like funeral car or whatever, right? Or like, yeah, he
Yeah.
made a bunch. Like, I had an uncle, my mom's sister that I mentioned earlier. Her husband was they were very wealthy, like super wealthy by Denmark standards, like hundreds of millions maybe, or at least like close to 100 million US or something. And he got Alzheimer's and he died, and she got like miserable, and she's like, it happens. Like it's there's no end,
That's
right?
why you got to live the life in the moment
Yeah,
and just enjoy and try to make the most of it and get past the buggers.
exactly. And the sooner the buggers come up and the sooner you just like let them see them and let them move through you, the more freedom you get to experience, the more
Yeah.
love you get to experience, the more abundance you get to experience, or the more you get to be that.
Yeah.
That's the
Absolutely.
game.
I
That's
love
the
that.
game, not the other shit.
That's
Not
awesome.
the circumstances. We're not like it's like when you're in an old-fashioned movies theater, right? And you sit there in the seat and you're looking up on the screen. And the screen is your life circumstances, like your house and your wife and your kids and your money and your car and like whatever, your business, your team. Those are your circumstances. Like, where do they come from? Right? Where do they come from? It's like most people like they try to like, how do I, oh yeah, and this up here, and then like how do I change that? And it's like they're up there with their Sharpies trying to like paint on the fucking on the screen. When in reality, yeah, it's coming from a projector room out in the back. And there's light that's blasting on this film strip. And that's what's creating the thing that you see. That's your life. The light is is you. The light is who you are. It's your spirit, consciousness, awareness, pure essence. That is who you are. The film strip is your mind. All the shit in your mind. And everything in your life is just a projection of what's in your mind. And so fix the fucking mind. and then and then the
That's,
circumstances change, but then you don't care. Like it's not
yeah,
like, oh, when like no, you just
I
do it
need
because you
that.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to ask you about physical. That might have been the best mental health answer I've heard.
Oh yeah, I got lost in that
That
one.
was epic. Physical health on a 1 to 10. How you feeling?
Feeling amazing. I mean, I'm gonna go 10. Um, I'm 51. I've never been fitter, never felt better, no pain, no
What are
medication,
you
no
doing?
nothing.
What are you doing to stay on this fitness? Because I know
I
people say as you get older, it's harder. What are you
It's
doing?
crazy. There's just a whole like when it comes to
Or is that
society,
is
we
that a
have this
mind bug as
notion.
well? Is that a
Of
mind bug?
course it is. Of course it is. When it comes to society, there's this concept of like managed decline. Well, Europe, America is like past its peak. We just kind of managed it on the way down. China is ascendant, India is ascendant, whatever. Bullshit. Well, we're only like past the peak if we are in our minds, right? If we believe that. We get to be whatever the fuck we want. Um,
I
but
mean,
people have this.
I'm just sorry to cut you off, but I've literally had 22-year-old friends who are like, oh man, can't get out of the chair. I'm old. And they're drinking beer and doing all this stuff. And then I see some 80-year-olds who are like, I'm a young buck. I'm a young buck, chipper as can be. I'm ready to go. And you're like,
Exactly.
how are these people the same? And obviously they're not the same, but it's just
Yeah.
this idea of like, you get to decide how you feel. You
A
get to
thousand
decide who
percent.
you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, people have the same thing with like with being, oh yeah, now I'm like 50 or 60 or whatever. So yeah, I started having some back pain. Like I'm not so flexible anymore, blah blah blah. Like it's crap. So my routine is basically my wife handles all my food, and it's not all, because I eat a slice of pizza or steak or whatever whenever I want
Yeah.
to. But when I'm home, she takes care of all my food, and it's medical medium. If you're familiar with this guy, Anthony William. But it's
Okay.
like we start with lemon ginger honey water, and then there's 32 ounces of celery juice, and then there's yeah, like we share a whole aloe vera leaf, just the gel between us, just to eat. It was really good for your intestine. A shot of parsley or cilantro juice, just pure, and then a heavy metal detox smoothie or some others. Is like all plant-based, all vegan, very clean, very nice. And that's my base diet. And I love it. And I love that she's serving me and taking care of me. And then I'll just eat whatever I want whenever I'm not. I'm not worried about it at all. Because I know too, when it comes to health and physicality, and vibration is the name of the game. Like in
Yeah.
any area of life, frequency, vibration, energy, that's what matters. So if you're
Yeah.
like, oh crap, now ate gluten or I got some dairy or whatever, fuck, now I'm gonna be like, that mindset is what's gonna make you actually feel shit or disease.
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely agree. I
Right.
think that half the time people are like, "Oh, I'm dairy free, I'm gluten free." I'm like, I think it's a mindset free. Like
It
I think
is.
some of it's true, like sure, but I mean, if you can control your mind, like you've seen people who literally
Yeah,
cured stage 4 cancer with their mind, like it,
exactly. Yeah.
it happens all the time. Like,
And like some things are more toxic for your body than others. And so there's a balance of like how much toxicity you want to put in versus but yeah, we don't need to worry about any of those things. And then I work out at the gym. I have a personal trainer. I'm going to meet later today and we just lift weights. I enjoy
yeah,
that. And I really enjoy having a in-person trainer that can just like tell me what to do, set up, tear down. I don't
yeah,
need to worry
yeah.
about that. I don't need to think about how many reps and how much. Like I know that's it's such a blessing. Um, then there's a whole thing from Denmark called Body SDS, Body Self Development System, which is remarkable. And I'm actually working on it's on my bucket list. I want to bring that to the United States.
Oh wow,
It's not massage, but it happens on a massage table. I'm going to be going to Copenhagen next week and I'm going to get a ton of sessions. It's incredible. It's like it works physical, mental, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. The first time I had a session with was in 2007 and like they start in your front up as opposed to typical massages where they start in your back. Got to my belly area and then they dig in there and that they call that the emotional switchboard. And so after working in there for like 10, 15 minutes, I just started bawling, just crying. And at that time I hadn't cried for years.
wow,
And it just like it opened me up emotionally. I was so shut down emotionally, but this really opened me up. And
wow.
it's incredible. It's incredible technology. And so I do that all the time whenever I can. When I'm in Denmark, sometimes I get some other therapists to come over here. And then they also have some training programs, one called PAFI, PAFEI, that I have some recordings that I sell. I haven't done much to actually sell that, but it's insane. It's amazing. So I do PAFI and some other workouts uh, like this that are designed to make you strong and flexible at the same time and work all your organs and work your energy systems. Like it's kind of like it's like Simplero is an all-in-one software for your coaching course
Yeah,
business, and PAFI is like an all-in-one for your body. It's
wow.
kind of how
That's
it
it.
is.
I literally took notes on those. I haven't heard
Yeah,
of anyone say those, so that's interesting. I'll definitely have to
it's
look
so
into
good.
that.
It's so good. Yeah.
And
So
then the
that's what I do for my body, my health.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing all that. And the next one is community service philanthropy. On a 0
Yeah.
to 10, how you feeling on that?
I feel good. I feel like my the biggest contribution it's when I was in the military in Denmark we have a draft and so I got
Oh
drafted and
wow.
so I was in the military and I just remember thinking like this is the stupidest use of my resources here because they could bring me in to I was a brilliant programmer back then too. Like they could bring me in to work on their IT stuff or like figure out some really brilliant problem solver or whatever. But of course they don't. They just have me like learn to shoot a gun and dig trenches and deal with like gas attacks or whatever like everybody else. And so I feel like for me, my greatest contribution is to share the message of the mind bugs and like that way of living. So
Love
that's
that.
where I'm focusing. I give to charities and stuff, but like that's where really my main focus is. Like,
So the biggest people that I've seen, the best contributors or the best philanthropers, the people that I saw were really ones that had aligned with the work that they do.
hmm
They figure out a way to use their skill set to get back in some sort of way. Like there was this another girl,
right.
Nada, and she like does professional kind of like coaching and stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, I'll just give speeches to
Yeah,
groups that are usually 20 grand and I'll just do it for free, like once a quarter,
yeah,
once a month, just to get
totally.
people out. Yeah, I mean, it's people don't realize that they have value in what they're already doing. Like what you do
Exactly.
is
Right.
a value. And we all want
Yeah.
to sit there and go, oh, I can only do it if I get paid. And it's like, come on, man, like just help the people.
Totally.
It's incredible.
For sure. And I tell that people that all the time. Like a lot of my customers on Simplero, they're like they really want to help, people who are poor or people who are suffering. I'm like, that's awesome. How about we sell to people who have money, and then you can give away to people who are poor? Like,
Yeah.
you can totally do that. Like,
There's
rather than
nothing
drag it.
wrong with, especially if you have a group coaching or something along those lines. Like you can bring
Yeah,
people in and help them or run another group, spend an hour a week and
exactly.
just
Yeah.
coach whoever wants to come in and people will enjoy that.
And the other angle is that way more people are going to be impacted by your marketing than are ever going to buy your shit. Right. So put it out there, share it, give it all away for free,
Yeah.
and try to reach as many people as you can with your
Yeah.
marketing, with your messaging, and then some are going to be customers, and that's awesome. So it all works together harmoniously.
It's all circular. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And then the fourth one is relationships. So this could be
Mm.
family, friends, wherever you want it to take. What do you think about relationships on a 0 to 10 or
10
1 to 10?
out of 10. 10 out of 10. I mean, my relationship with my wife is like next level. We've been together for what is it now? 14 years. And we've
Okay.
done so much work together. So we know each other intimately,
Yeah.
really deeply. We know all of our blind spots and dark spots. And we're just like totally with each other with that. And that journey of like really just, we had so much garbage, both of us, when we met. But that journey of like being able to do that together, I don't know anyone who's done like that kind, like the amount and the depth of work that we have done together for so many
Yeah.
years. Like we would book the founder of Body SDS, we would book him for like 4 days at a time exclusively just for her and I to work together on all of our shit.
Oh,
Like we
wow.
did that many
The,
times. We do like 3 or 4 times a year, 5 times a year doing that.
so the intentionality that comes from doing the work and
Yeah.
actually making it intentional and showing up and being there for them is truly what
hmm
it's all
And
about.
sometimes we would be working on like separate things, like
Yeah.
I'm working through mine, but we would constantly witnessing each other's process and journey.
Breakthroughs. Yeah.
And it's just it's so beautiful. And that I think ultimately every relationship in your life is a reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself. And so as you get clearer, as you clear your mind bugs again, and you get a better relationship with yourself, then relationships with everybody else get so much simpler. I used to be
Yeah.
scared of like meeting clients, meeting customers on Simplero because I was like, oh, what if they're upset about something? And what if they're not like they're criticize the software? And I would take it very personally and like all these things around it. Now, yesterday I was meeting with someone who like she wrote an NPS score and she was like get feedback in our NPS survey, and there was something about like, yeah, like Calvin's, long and rambling videos aren't really helping and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I reach out and like, hey, would you be up for meeting with you? I'd love to hear more and like understand. And she was like, yeah, and like she felt embarrassed that she'd written that, and she's like, I'm so impressed that you want to meet with me after I wrote that to you. I'm like, of course, I don't take that personally at all. It doesn't
Yeah.
faze me at all, but it would
Yeah.
have, right? And
The
so
previous me.
right. Like anytime we have a problem with a relationship, it's just a mind bug. Like every time we have a problem with anything, it's just a mind bug. That's it.
And
That's
it's
it.
let's attack this and see how we can solve it instead of sitting there going, "Oh, this girl doesn't like me. I can't I like her. I got to get rid of her."
Right.
Like, what's the
Or
point of that? Nothing, no one grows.
she shouldn't say that. She
You shouldn't
shouldn't
give
do that. It
authentic
shouldn't be that
results.
way, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah. Right. Yeah.
it makes no sense. I love
Yeah.
that. And then the last one, spirituality.
I don't know.
Maybe 100 out of 10.
Two, two, one. I don't really know. But it's funny too, because there was a time where I would rank myself, I would never rank myself higher than a 9. Because I'd be
Really?
like, there's always more. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good, but it's not quite there. Like that was my whole mindset with everything. I'm not quite there. I'm not quite there. I'm not quite there. Like I think like most of the people watching this, listening to this, like especially entrepreneurs, it's just how we see life. It's how we see the world.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet. Oh, I
Yeah.
just need just this piece, then I'll be there.
Yeah.
It's such a lie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
always it's always going to be a work in progress.
Yeah.
And it's always perfect, just the way it
Yeah.
is.
That's
So
awesome.
just because I say health is a 10, I'm not at a six pack right now. I have been. I want to get
Yeah.
back to the six pack just because.
Yeah.
So I'm a 10 now. I'll be a 10 then. It's like, hey.
I love that. I love that. No, because I mean, it's a really honest answer, and it makes us realize that we don't have to be less than to be, but we can still improve. Like,
Yeah.
we can still, I mean, for me, maybe for you, maybe I got to change things up. Maybe it's a 10 and a 10 plus. I love that. No, no, I think that's so awesome because it allows you to be fully you, and I can tell that you're authentically showing up, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I really
It's like
appreciate that.
my son when he was building stuff in Lego, like wasn't building it for anything other than to build stuff in, I mean, I did that as a kid too, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh yeah, when I build this tower, then like we might have that. It's like, oh, I'm looking at, oh my God, I built
Mhm.
like amazing, but it's not like, oh, I gotta improve to get somewhere. Like there's a joy of just doing it. There's a joy for me, the joy of just making the software better every day.
Yeah.
Not because I have a place to get to, but because I just love it. I just enjoy
Yeah.
building. I get to build stuff every day. Again, we talk about exits, right? People who sell their company, they lose, they get the money, but they lose the purpose, the meaning. I mean, they lose that. Like, and I talk to founders who've been through this, that joy of creating, of building something. Like
Yeah.
whether it's the software or the team or the company or the whatever, the content, whatever it is, like that joy of being building something, it's just fun. Like
Yeah.
cooking is fun. Like building a
Yeah.
Lego tower is fun. Like they lose that, right?
Yeah.
And then they lose the camaraderie of the
Yeah.
team, the connection, the being
Yeah.
with people building stuff. And so, yeah, people don't realize how much they lose when they sell their company.
The grass is not always greener.
Yeah. And now they got to build that up again from
Yeah.
scratch
And now
a
you got to go
second
through that
time.
journey again,
Yeah.
which isn't always fun. Calvin, you're incredible. Where can people learn more about you? Where can they learn about Simplero?
Thank you, Jordan. It's very took me aback, but thank you. I'll take that. Um, Instagram for my socials is the main place that I do my socials. Just my name, Calvin Correli. Follow me, DM me, say that you saw me on Clockedin, and just let me know whatever resonated with you. I love hearing from people who listened, who heard something. And then Simplero.com is the website for Simplero. It's awesome. Like best freaking place to host your online business. It doesn't matter pretty much what your online business is. Simplero is the place where you host that becomes the hub of your business. And it replaces like all the tools. And if you want to like add some other tools that you can, but Simplero like kind of remains the hub. That's what it's built for. It's amazing. And yeah, I think that's it.
I love it.